You ever do something and immediately regret it? Ugh, that lunch got me in the gut. We gotta get back to the farm immediately. Hello and welcome to the Stover Farm channel. I'm so glad to have you here with us. And I've got my tail between my legs. And I'll tell you why. Last episode, I clearly failed. I proved that $730,000 in equipment and $80,000 in profit in 1 year, it's not going to work for a small farm. It would take 10 years just to break even. My family, well, I'd have to have a second, maybe even a third job. So we're going to do this all over again. And you can tell, well, I didn't even have money for any fertilizer or herbicide. These fields look pretty nasty. And hey, look at my car. I posted a picture yesterday of some mystery equipment that I bought. The first go around, it was $730,000. This go around, $103,000. So this stuff's not going to be super amazing, but I'm going to tell you what, Rev Counter, thanks for supporting the channel. You got it extremely close. Over here to my left, well, this is what we've got. I'll tell you what it is. So I had to have a car, a Jeep. It was $3,000. And I've got this beautiful old 786 International. This is just going to be used for actually getting seed and product into my planter. One thing I didn't do last time, I didn't really do it realistic. I used EasyDev. This time, yeah, I actually bought the seed. It's over there. So we've got tractor, we've got loader, we've got loader forks. I almost called them bale forks. Totally wrong. And then we need some weight on the back, so a little Agco weight to keep it all hunkered down on the ground. There's that green planter. It's gonna go on a silver tractor, and we're gonna fix all those weeds with a red discer. And again, this is not like amazing stuff, but all of this, $103,000, 1/7 of what my original build out was. And hey, I've got to be realistic here too and be honest. We're having fun with this, right? None of this is going to be 100% accurate to what farming is in America. I clearly am going to make mistakes. There's certain things that I should do to make more money. We're just having fun, right? I hope so. I hope, though, that I can at least break even or maybe turn just a slight profit, because on these 5 fields, which equals exactly 100 acres just outside of town in Convoy, Ohio, we're going to plant sunflowers. So as I was saying, we're going to do this as a speed run. There's no taking breaks. We're going to till. We're going to plant. We do not have any lime to put down. We have no herbicides. We don't have money for it. But I've got to clean these fields up first because the corn stubble is still out there from my first little go-around with this adventure. And then I let all the weeds grow, and yeah, we would have an absolutely terrible harvest. I'm not even certain that planter would plant it. So, hey, we had a beautiful, I think it was an 8300 John Deere. We're now in a Field Boss. But you know what? This feels cozy. And I'll tell you what, 2-wheel drive tractors, they turn really, really nice. So, let's get at it. Let's get this field tilled so we can plant some sunflowers. Now, in case you are wondering, I am working these fields myself. I'm not going into easy dev and setting the field fruit and setting the growth state. That's one of the downfalls of using a map like No Man's Land, where you have to actually plow your own fields. They're not pre-built fields, so you don't have that option, even with the magic of easy dev. So this is taking some time, well, at least to do it right. Now, we've got to fill seeds in the planter, and I believe the capacity of this is only about 1,200 liters, so I don't know what that is right off the top of my head. I can't do the conversion math, but I think one of these pallets will probably fit in the planter at a time, and that means we're going to have to refill through the course of this 100 acres. And I realized I need to probably lower the planter and open the doors. Oh, did they open on their own? Maybe they did. Or did I already open them? No, I guess I already opened them. But I should probably lower it. There we go. Okay. So let's see how much of this we can get in the planter. $28 bushels, so we're about 83% full. Let's just go with it and we'll see how it works.
Fill me out with your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. I'm safe and sound. I'm safe and sound. I'm safe and sound.
And we keep going and going and going. Definitely less power than the deer, but that's okay. Planting done, and a few observations. This took a long time. Almost, gosh, it was like an hour and 20 minutes in real time. 6 meters with 170 horsepower, you don't get a lot of coverage or a lot of speed, but it did do the job. And B, I had barely enough seed, but hey, at least I had enough, did not need to buy any more. So now, the fun part, we get to actually watch this grow. And for this, I'm going to actually, I don't know, maybe fly in the air. So give me just a second. And from this vantage point, you can actually see I got better as I went across the fields. I was missing a ton early on. I didn't have any lime down. I didn't have any fertilizer or herbicides down. So it was extremely difficult to see where I had planted. I was missing stuff, and that's going to affect the yields. But I did get better, and I had a lot of overlap. Fortunately, I had a variable seed rate set up because I do have precision farming installed. Enough yapping. Here we go. Growth state number 1. Nice. Growth state number 2. And I guess I should probably maybe fly down because I have no clue. It's very hard to see the actual growth states other than that first one. From way up high. So let's do this one now. So I think this will be 2, and again you see weeds growing. We're gonna have a pretty significant impact on yield because of weeds. I didn't have the money. Hey, the nice thing is I didn't have the tools, so I didn't have to, work more hours. But I get weeds instead. All right, here's another growth state. And another. The large weeds are growing. It's asking for herbicides. Expected yield 50% yield potential. So again, this is going to be abysmal for yield. But will the price of sunflowers offset what we did with corn? Because so many people yelled at me. They said, Stover, corn, it's not a great cash crop. It's a feed crop. You need to do soybeans or sunflowers. So here you go. We need to call my neighbor, get him up here. Let's go. And here he is, Diamond Jim in the Purple Pete, with the Lizard Silage Boss on the back. Unrealistic capacity. Why are we doing that, or why am I doing that? Alright, so I want one trailer. I want to be able to dump the combine into one trailer. We can take it down to the elevator, and we'll see exactly what our profit is. Now, I've only got $6,885 in the bank. I was basically going to pay my neighbor 10 grand to come and cut this 100 acres of sunflowers and then transport it down to the elevator. Is that realistic? Is that too much? I honestly have no clue. Channel, tell me, what do you think? What would a realistic price be for 100 acres, cutting, putting it in a truck, and taking it down to an elevator? I don't know what that would be. Am I way off? Am I close? It's still cheaper for me to do it this way than to buy a combine, at least until I finally have money in the bank. And I definitely couldn't afford this massive case combine. This is virtually over $1 million just in the head and the combine. So Diamond agreed if I did all the work, he'd actually cut me a little bit of a deal, and $68.85 is what it'll take for this. Again, I'm just guessing on this. I have no clue. It's all the rest of the money I had. I really just want to see what the heck I can get off this field. So let's do this. $1 million machine really makes that easy. For the big reveal now, you'll notice I conveniently left the HUD off. That's because I didn't want to see what the yield was. I didn't want to see what my capacities were. So I'm going to turn this back on. You're going to have to trust me. This is the first time I'm seeing this myself. And we have 2,620 bushels of sunflowers. I feel like that is less than the amount of corn we had, so I'm hoping that sunflower prices are actually significantly higher. What about yield? We're pretty bad. You can see down there I did 97 bushels an acre, and that is because I had a 50% yield score. I had no fertilizer, I had no lime, I did nothing to this land because I had no money to do anything to this land. So that could really, really hurt us. However, I'm only 100 grand into equipment, whereas before I was $700,000 into equipment. So I'm really not worried, and hey, at the end of the day, it's a game. We're having fun. Diamond Jim is going to be extremely angry with me. I might owe him some repair money as well. We are clearly hung up. Stand by. So 2,000 bushels in the truck. Let's go ahead and pay our bill first to Diamond Jim. So $68.85 has to come out of the bank account. We're moving money. $68.85. Boom. That takes us down to 0. And that was kind of, I planned it that way. I wanted it to be that way because, again, I just want to see what we're going to bring in now. This is simulating a full year of harvest in a matter of minutes. And I don't know why my turn signal's still on. How do I turn that off? Alright, I was able to figure out how to turn the turn signal off. It's like I've never played this game before. And if you're watching and you have any questions about mods that I'm using, I am on a Mac, so I'm running a PC equivalent of the game, not a console. But all of the mods that I'm using are publicly available, so if you have questions about them, make a comment, ask me what you're looking for. I realize there's probably something you might not have and you'd like to know where to find it. I'm absolutely happy to tell you where it is, if it's still available. And the link that you can get it from. I get a lot of my mods from itch.io. I really like to get them directly from the modders, but then some of them I do get from other sites like King's Mods, Mod Hub, or just generally the in-game Mod Hub for all platform mods or PC console or PC and Mac only mods. This map, if you're wondering, well, it's No Man's Land. It's my second version of a DIY map, a custom map where you make your own, and you too could make a map just like this. I will have a full review, tutorial, and a walkthrough of this map very soon. It's completely different from Meadowlands, Wisconsin. I'm calling it Convoy, Ohio. It's pretty cool, and it realistically, I think, looks like Middle America. Or in the the Ohio Valley area. Very, very nice. So here at Garrett Elevator and Supply, we're going to pull in. I have no clue what we're going to bring back. I could be really excited or extremely disappointed. I do not know. So here we go. You and I will watch this for the first time. Yeah, a little disappointed. $56,000 versus the 80 that I pulled off the corn. It's the same elevator, it's the same prices. I don't even know what the prices currently are for that particular sell-all point. But I also had exactly half the yield, so 2,000 bushels versus 4,000 bushels. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed, but however, so that's a break-even point of only 2 years versus 10 years. So that is not bad, and I could actually live with that. Again, first time we did this scenario, we had $730,000 worth of equipment. We did the same 100 acres. We pulled $80,000 out of that year, that speed run. Here, same thing. Only difference is we had 100 grand in equipment, much older. Not a lot of it. We didn't have a combine. We borrowed our buddy's combine and truck. We had 100 grand into it, and we now have pulled $57,000 of income. So I was clearly wrong initially saying small farms just don't work. They absolutely do. In fact, small farms are awesome as long as you keep your spending down. And I think it shows you that, with equipment prices the way they are, you just cannot. What was that? Oh, that was I think that's the Yeti that Alien Jim built into this map. It goes off every hour. I don't know. It scares the heck out of me sometimes. What was I saying? You clearly can't buy X9s or big Steigers and have $1 million worth of equipment and farm 100 acres. But if you do buy equipment intelligently, so older case, older white, these all performed excellent. They did the job. We could have then, added maybe some chickens. Maybe Grandma could have done a little bit of gardening over here, and we would have been able to increase our profits. So don't be, scared to try a small farm. Just keep your spending in check. You can't have all the awesome equipment. You've got to start small. So there you have it. Less actual bring home. $57,000 versus $80,000, but I am thrilled because you could continue with this farm. A little bit of patience, maybe a couple of loans from the bank, and some additional income sources like animals or vegetables, and you would absolutely have a ton of fun playing a map like this. 100 acres, it's not too much. But it's also not so tiny that you just have one field. I think you should try it. Run a small farm. And then when you get tired of that, run a huge farm. Speaking of huge farms, yeah, this is no man's land, and this is Convoy, Ohio. Grandpa's farm back there, 100 acres. The main farm, it's closer to 1,500. That's a ton. And that will be for next time. But until then, we'll see you next time, right here on the farm with the Stovers.